Well, let's move on to some more administration going on around sports in Nigeria as Felix Anyansi Agu is doing all it takes to continue as Enyimba chairman, having been replaced by Nigeria and Arsenal legend Nwankwo Kanu on Sunday. Kanu, 46, was appointed as the People's Elephant's new boss by the Abia State government to end the 24-year-old reign of the experienced proprietor, vice president of the Nigerian Football Federation. Under Anyansi, Enyimba has risen from a relatively unknown status to one of Africa's most successful clubs. Aside from helping the Aba-based outfit emerge as NPFL winners for a record 9 times, he played a key role as the team ruled Africa twice, first in 2003, then defending their title successfully in 2004. Kanu's appointment will see him reunite with former international teammate Finidi George. Both players were part of Louis van Gaal's Ajax, which won the UEFA Champions League in 1995, following a 1-0 triumph over Serie A outfit AC Milan inside Ernst Appel Stadium in Vienna. You know, there's this interesting saying, and I'm sure you've heard of it: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Enyimba has been doing so well for so long, and some may be asking, why replace such a credible, an accomplished and successful proprietor? Sure, I love the idea of seeing Kanu Nwankwo given such a responsibility. Of course, we all want to see our legends given major responsibilities within the world, within the administration of sports in the country. Therefore, we can believe that these people have the most experience, have the credibility to take the sport to the next level because they've seen it all, they've done it all, they've got the experience in foreign countries, they've seen how it's done over there, and they can apply those experiences in ways that the old guard just can't do. The fact is, no matter how successful an old guard is, they're new ideas that they will never be able to accomplish, they will never be able to even think of in the first place. It takes younger minds with younger perspectives to come up with younger push in in a new direction. I wonder though, are we replacing new experience? Are we replacing old experience, old and steady experience, for something shinier, newer, and just a little bit flashier?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that Felix Anyansi is a bona fide football administrator. I mean, the antecedent speaks for itself, and in years to come, he's certainly going to be respected. As far as I'm concerned, in Nigerian football, when it comes to administration, he's a legend. But I think his time is up. His time is up, and it's time to give chance to the new folks. I'm really, really happy for Kanu Nwankwo. He's now getting to football administration, and the next in line should be JJ Okocha. But that story is for another day. You talked about, are we letting go of the experience of Felix Anyansi and giving chance to? I think Kanu Nwankwo deserves it. I mean, not just as someone who's popular, but someone who did greatly for Nigerian football and also for his club side in his playing days at Ajax Amsterdam, Inter Milan, and as well as Arsenal. I think it's time for him to step up to the plate. Many people are rooting for him, but Felix Anyansi, who's been fantastic, he has to just step aside. He's done greatly for Enyimba, but I think it's just a time for a new reign. That's what we say, change is constant, just like we're seeing technology, AI taking over the whole world. I mean, Felix Anyansi just needs to step aside. He's done greatly. I think you should see it this way. I mean, leave when the ovation is very high. The ovation is still very high for him. He should just step aside, and then he's still, or would he rather stay to become a villain? So I would just see it that way. I mean, Kanu Nwankwo stepping into his shoes.
Some people would. Go on, finish your point.
All right, so Kanu Nwankwo stepping into his shoes. Some people would be expecting that he will immediately get the ground running or hit the ground running, but that's not going to be the case because Felix Anyansi had gained experience before he became a very successful football administrator. So in Kanu's new position, I think people should give him time for him to know how it is run, because
Proponents
we know
and
we know we
proponents
know
and
him as
supporters of
okay.
this move, sorry to cut you off, but proponents and supporters of this move would argue that this should have been done earlier in Kanu's career. The fact is, a lot of these athletes have been around for so long, and we've been talking for years about how a lot of people who are in administrative positions aren't qualified to be there. Look at the likes of Samuel Eto'o. Look at the likes of Didier Drogba. These are gentlemen who ran for the office of their football federation's presidency. And in Eto'o's case, he won. The likes of Kanu Nwankwo are even older. The likes of JJ Okocha are even older in terms of how long ago they were in the game. And yet, just now, someone like Kanu Nwankwo is just being promoted or asked to step into a role where he's the head of a single club, not the whole of the NPFL, but just a single club. Some would say he should have had an opportunity to step into a role like this earlier, build up his reputation, his credentials, and maybe one day utilize all of his experience at the football player level to the administrative level to be in a position where one day he might be the one running the NFF, maybe even going to represent Nigeria at CAF or even FIFA. Unfortunately, this is where we're at. And it begs the question, what hope do the next generation or the current generation of star Nigerian footballers have in stepping into administrative roles when they are done with their playing career? Someone like Victor Osimhen, when he's 40, will he be in a position to step into a role like this, or will he have to wait till he's in his 50s?
There's a saying by Washington Grover: "Good things come to those who wait, but not for those who wait for too long." I mean, being a successful footballer doesn't completely make you a successful administrator, because when it comes to being an administrator, you've got to have some great leadership skills. You've got to go to probably back to school and get your master's in business administration or anything that has to do with leadership, anything that has to do with running a business. I know in sports it's quite different, but this players who are retired, successful retired footballers, they need to put themselves in a good position that they could be called upon to take over a bigger role as far as football is concerned. Have they been able to gather some knowledge about? Because I tell you, playing football is different.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. No matter what job, no matter what degree you get anywhere in the world, you still get, when you get on the job, you still go through training, and there's nothing as illuminating and as edifying as on-the-job training. The likes of Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, as soon as they were done with their playing careers, as soon as they realized they weren't going to step into positions of becoming coaches, physios, or whatever, backroom staffs.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Michael.
Okay.
You can't be a coach. You can't be a coach when you've not picked up your.
I understand, but we're talking about administrators here, and I'm saying that the likes of
different.
The likes of Samuel Eto'o, the likes of Didier Drogba were already working as aides and administrators on some level. They were special advisors on sports to respective politicians, to respective administrations, because of the credibility they've already gotten within the world of sport. The fact is, no matter what level of qualification you get, if you want to become a coach, you can still be a terrible coach, but get straight A's in school when you go back to training for a course in coaching. And if it's administration, you can still get straight A's and be a bad administrator. My point to you is that it feels like when we talk about getting our legends to be qualified, to be bona fide and credible personalities that can step into positions of authority within administering sports, we put too much emphasis on saying, go back and learn the nitty-gritty, when we know A lot of our administrators are political appointments, and they've never been anywhere near sports in the first place. Why should we say to footballers that you, even though you've dealt with coaches, you've dealt with club owners, you've dealt with administrators, and you've, over the course of your football playing career, you've come up with ideas of how you would do certain things better, that you should go back, get some training, and then we'll revisit the possibility of you taking up such responsibility.
I was about to make 2 points, but first of all, let me just buttress on the first point of this people putting themselves in a good position, maybe going learning. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you have a vision even before your career ends. I mean, this so-called Nigerian professionals, retired professionals, they don't have a vision for themselves when their playing career is over. You made mention of Samuel Eto'o. He feels he was always looking at becoming the next president as far as Fegafoot is concerned. I mean, Didier Drogba, we've seen him contest time and time again to become. When did we see Kano Nwankwo vie for any administrative position? I don't know. If you know, can you just correct me? I'm open to that. We don't see these people going out for it, because you can't sit home and just keep waiting that you'll be called upon for appointment because of what you did as a footballer. You've got to put yourself in that position. You've got to go put yourself, try to accumulate voters, get people to know you, so that maybe when the time comes, you can easily win it. You can't sit at home and want to run Nigerian football. You can't sit at home and wait for opportunity. The politicians, they know more people. They're putting words in every places they can so that they can be appointed. If these other Nigerian professionals who are very credible, who will certainly get the votes of the masses or the people or the delegates involved, then they should go out for it and make sure they are seen, and make sure that they are confident in themselves, because it either means that they don't know if they will be able to deliver. That's why they're not coming out to put themselves out there for a position to run any football position as far as administration is concerned. And I also talked about getting yourself acquainted with the game. I mean, there are chances that if you don't go back to the ropes, if you don't go back to learn what it means to be a football administrator, you're just going to be like the politicians. You're just going to, I mean, it doesn't, we've seen coaches, good players, good football coaches, good football players, I beg your pardon, they're not good coaches now. Successful football players, likes of, I don't want to mention name. It's very obvious. Frank Lampard is one of them. God help him. So we've seen it many times. I mean, what happens? They should go back, know what it means to become a football administrator, learn some leadership quality, which is the top quality needed to run football as an administrator. I don't just understand why people will expect this players to just come out from football without having vision of what they're going to do when they're retired. They need to know what they're going to do. They need to want it for themselves. No one is going to appoint you, because every senior politician, there's some politicians who are already eyeing a position of the NFF in the next tenure. And if our Nigerian footballers, the likes of JJ and the likes of Finidi George, who of course prolific career as a footballer, if they don't put pen to paper, if they don't put words down, they are not going anywhere as far as football administration is concerned.
Monday, I'm just going to say that on the one hand, when we're talking about administrators taking bold steps forward, or shall I say past players taking bold steps forward to put themselves in positions where they can run and administer over certain sporting organizations, that they need to step forward. I understand that, but still, I do not believe Kano Nwankwo is that kind of personality where he stayed home and was waiting for an appointment. When he was a player, he was very active in player development, player recruitment with Pepsi. And when you're that involved in trying to get grassroots football to a higher level, I refuse to believe that he was the kind of retired veteran just hoping, waiting that someone was going to knock on his door and give him a job. My point here would be that even if these athletes are waiting around, there should be something. If if I was in any position of political authority and I needed to surround myself with the best qualified people who could advise me on a myriad of situations and expertise, I wouldn't need for them to be knocking on my door. I wouldn't need for them to be putting themselves in the glass window to show that they want the job. I would be looking for people who are most qualified, whether they are at home or not. And politicians do that all the time. When it's past retired friends of a friend or colleagues from way back when that they know can do the job, they go looking for them. Instead, we're saying here that because these are footballers, even though they're not making great strides to be administrators, we don't need to give them the responsibility until they come looking and asking for those responsibilities. It just doesn't seem like that's the best way forward if we're trying to recruit expertise to push and move our sports administration forward.
I understand your point, but these politicians are highly connected. They've been in the system for a very long time. They're currently maybe under the current president of Nigerian football, and they are eyeing the seats in the next tenure. So for you to, with everything you've got as a footballer, with the popularity you gain at your footballing years, and with how you were able to carry your career with lots of seriousness. And of course, you brought a lot as far as football was concerned in a particular country in club football. It's also left for you to come out there and get yourself nominated. Come out there and make friends. Get yourself connected as well to this so-called delegates. Because when it comes to getting votes, you don't just get votes from normal people. There are some certain persons who are delegated for this purpose.
Some people are egalitarian, have egalitarian mentalities. They believe that if they're good at what they do, if they have the expertise, they should be recognized. Unfortunately, when it comes to the world of sport, it is still plagued with politics. And some people, no matter how qualified they are, no matter how well-intentioned they are, they walk into a room, they feel the temperature, and they know they are not welcome. They know that their level of expertise is not really what people are looking for. It is whether they're politically savvy enough to get the job rather than qualified to do the job. But I take your point. But I think there's a place in the middle where athletes or retired athletes can push more to be in those positions and within the room for those discussions. And our politicians can take more notice of the fact that the people who can do the job best are the ones who've been doing the job the longest. Let's move forward to a current Nigerian international, and let's ignore the future of that Nigerian international and take a look backwards.